I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly back here with you guys for another video, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, guys. Join me here if you are into true crime stories, politics, news, and all of that good, great, wonderful commentary that we provide here. And if you are returning, thank you for being a friend as always, and I appreciate you guys so very much. And this is going to be a quick one, guys, because I have another video that I am going to be doing right after this one, another Society in Decay, so be on the lookout for that. This, I just wanted to come on here, have a little quick, you know, a little keck moment, if you will. Okay, so I ran upon this video on the FBI. You know, the FBI, apparently they have gotten into the business of Hollywood, guys, or they are making, you know, short films. They are doing a bit of acting. You know, there's some things going on. You know, your tax dollars hard at work, guys. We're gonna get into it right now, and then I'm gonna show at the very end of our little short film that we are reviewing here today and reacting to. I'm wanting to review another clip from The Hill Rising. It's a YouTube channel that I like to watch. It's a left-leaning you know, a channel, but I find them to be pretty good. But there was a very, very good moment on that show, so I want to get into that at the very end. But let's, you know, get into this film, guys. Like, if you can't tell from the screenshot here, or I'm sorry, from the thumbnail here, you know, obviously you're in for a treat. We've got some good acting coming your way. So let's see, guys, what the FBI has in store for us. So without further ado, let me just pull up this amazing film. I mean, you're going to be blown away, guys. They went all out, okay? They spared no expense, okay? So let me just show you guys what it is that I'm talking about, because I think you're going to be just as impressed as I am. So, okay, guys, let me just make sure. All right, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So let me go ahead and get this up. All right, y'all. Hope you're ready. Hold on to your butts, okay? So here we go. This is from FBI.gov, guys. So real official, okay? And somehow, I don't know how I stumbled upon this video. I think it was from the last, I don't know, some research I was doing. Somehow I got to this place, and they put this video out, guys, to demonstrate what an active shooter situation might look like for you. You know, in your everyday real life, guys. This is the FBI's idea of what an active shooter situation might be, and they've got some tips, okay? They've got a little advice for you here. So let's just get into it without further. I'm building it up here for you guys. We're building momentum. Okay, so this video, it's called Run, Hide, Fight. Okay, guys, so from here, we're going to go right on over to their YouTube channel. And if you didn't know, yes, the FBI has their very own channel, okay, which is, you know, in and of itself, a deep dive that is worth probably taking. But we are going to get into this. So let's play this. Warning, some of the content you're about to see may be disturbing. And we're not talking about the acting.
Hi, can I get you started with drinks?
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta take this.
We'll need a minute.
She's upset.
She said, no, I'm here.
Hey, you need to back up. You can't be here anymore. Get out of my face, what, man. You think I'm afraid of you? Get off, man.
So immediately, we're introduced to this scene, okay, guys? We are catapulted right into this bar, And it's almost like we're there. That's how good the directing is, and the acting and the atmosphere of this amazing film. And we are then shown a scene of some guys having a little scuffle in the back of this restaurant or this bar, whatever it is. It looks like a sports bar, and there appears to be some sort of argument happening. So let's see what happens.
911, there's a
So this argument leads to gunfire in the restaurant. Oh my God. He said, "Lady, fuck you. I'm going to hide behind this bar. Fend for yourself." Okay, first of all, let's look at this. Let's look at this. I don't even know what that was. Did y'all bump into each other? Was that like a quick little like dance move? Was it an embrace? Like what just happened here? And I just want to say the premise. First of all, it's absolutely ridiculous. When I first watched this, I was dying laughing, y'all. Like I really was, and I was just like. Okay, first of all, if it's a fight between two people in a restaurant, right, which is like, it's plausible. I can see this like actually happening where, somebody might shoot up, somebody at a restaurant after a fight because people, we're living in a world that I think we're all aware of. People are crazy these days. The world's gone mad. But in what world does then that lead to a mass shooting? Like, like what is so you're telling me that like you're so upset that you shoot somebody in a restaurant? Okay, I can see it, but then you just say fuck it. No, I'm just gonna turn this into a mass casualty event. What? So let's watch this. Like I don't even know what that was. They bumped into each other here. I don't know. Let's just see. Look at. What is that? Did y'all even bump into each other? I don't understand what happened. Okay.
Running makes you harder to hit and improves your chances of survival.
Okay, can't we keep
Don't
moving?
go up here.
Don't go up here. Okay, so there's all these people running down the stairs, okay, and you can hear gunshots, but these two idiots are running up the stairs. Like what? They're like, oh, dude, let's just go check out this fun bar. What is that? Gunshots? I don't know what's going on. What is this film? It's grade A. Look at this. Police. These cops come. They're like pointing their guns at this woman coming up with guns drawn. And then how did y'all get there so fast? Who called you people here? What is going on? I just need to know these answers. And then they're coming up, pointing the damn gun. Ma'am, at least she's got trigger control. I mean, thank God, because otherwise, this black woman makes one false move and she's dead.
By the bar, blue jeans, black shirt. Empty hands up, follow their instructions.
Okay, girl, whatever.
I'm in the direct line of fire if I head for either exit, but I have other options to help me survive.
Oh, girl, what? You just got up and ran. What? Like, what?
Guys.
Okay, I'm in the direct line of fire. If I get up and run, then I might be hit. And then what does she do? She gets up and fucking runs into a closet. Ma'am, if you were going to get up, the stairs, weren't they, like, right there? Couldn't you have just gone, down, like, exited? Oh, okay. Whatever.
Come on, in here. Come on. Go. Lock and barricade the door.
Was this woman even... Hang on, wait. This Asian lady? Was she even bleeding? She's holding her arm.
Guys, come on, in here. Come on. Go.
Okay, I guess she was. What the fuck is happening?
Lock and barricade the door.
Both my exits are blocked by the shooter. I gotta stay hidden. I'm no victim. I'm ready for this.
Okay. Whatever, girl.
He's applying direct pressure to the wound to stop the bleeding until we can find a tourniquet.
Was that chocolate?
In the meantime, turn off your phones
Oh.
and make a plan to defend yourself.
What you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? I'm gonna deflect your bullets with this lamp here. You thought you were gonna shoot me, but I've got a fire extinguisher and a lamp, so joke's on you. Gun reloading. He's so done about that argument. That man is so done with whoever it was he just had a fight with that he's literally gone on a massacre. He is gonna kill everyone in this place because of one fight. Guys, he's not stopping. He just doesn't. Look at these three. The three amigos here. They're gonna save the frickin' day. Just you wait.
To survive. I control the weapon. You control the shooter.
If we can...
I'll go for the gun.
If we control the weapon, we control the shooter. Well, sir, I would ask, how are you controlling the weapon if he's the one that's got the gun? What is that? FBI, I have questions. Okay, what are y'all doing? Who wrote this script? How much did you pay for this film? What could y'all have been utilizing your time doing something better? Because it's like, these are your tax dollars, people. These are your tax dollars. And I hope you are satisfied with what the FBI is doing. They're doing a bang-up job, okay? Just absolutely impressive. He said, I'll go for the guns. He'll go for his arms. What? Like, what? Isn't that, like, counterproductive? Like, shit, what? I mean, how are y'all going to go for the gun? And, okay, anyways. Whatever. Nice plan.
Gun. He'll go for his arms. The bartender will go for the head.
Oh, really? So one's going to go for the head and the arms and the gun. Okay, alright. Whatever. He's got a bottle. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Who died? Oh, y'all are a little late. Okay, so I just want to say that the cops took apparently 5 seconds to arrive on the scene when it never even showed anybody calling 911. But they took approximately 35 minutes to walk from the outside of the building up the stairs into the building. So, got it. So nobody called y'all, but y'all just instinctively got there within like 5 seconds of this whole thing going down. And, you know, so then you were there at the location of the shooting, but it took you another hour and a half to go inside. Okay, so y'all must have gotten that Uvalde training. Oh, all right, okay. And there's just like, you know, wreckage, carnage, bodies. This lady's just sitting up here looking stupid. I don't even know what she's doing. He's obviously in pain. They're walking right past him. They don't give a fuck. You know, they're just whatever. I mean, they're there to do a job, obviously. You can tell these are serious policemen. And, you know, it's just cinematic. Mwah, masterpiece.
Please, show me your hands!
Over here!
Just wow.
You can survive a mass shooting.
Oh, really?
If you're prepared.
She's looking for her boyfriend. That date was horrible. Not a tear to be seen in the eye.
Run, hide, or fight.
Okay, thanks so much.
Run. Wherever you go, be aware of alternate exits.
Okay.
Quickly and cautiously evacuate in a direction away from the attacker. Don't hesitate. Seconds matter.
Okay.
Remember windows and emergency exits. Leave belongings behind. Keep your empty hands raised and clearly visible when exiting a building. Follow all instructions from the police. Don't stop until you're sure you've reached a safe location. Hide. If there is no safe escape route, find a good hiding place. Lock and barricade the door. Silence cell phones. Prepare a defense plan. Fight. Fight only as a last resort. Use available objects as improvised weapons. Use teamwork and surprise. A coordinated ambush can incapacitate an attacker.
You don't say.
You're fighting for your life.
Oh, really?
Don't fight fair.
Okay.
Stop the bleed. A victim can die of uncontrolled blood loss in 5 minutes or less. Apply pressure or a tourniquet to control severe bleeding. Go to fbi.gov/survive to learn more.
They're doing the Lord's work, guys. They are doing the Lord's work, okay? What a brave and bold agency this is, okay? I mean, is there anybody better than the FBI? I would go so far as to say that anyone is better than them. This is a very keck video that we just saw here, and I would love to know your thoughts on it. Let's go on to the next video, okay? This is unrelated, but I wanted to include this because it didn't really fit in my other video that I'm working on, and I thought it was very good. So if you guys don't or haven't seen The Hill Rising, like I said, it's a left-leaning channel where basically Brianna Joy Gray and then some other dude named Robbie, they're usually the two co-hosts of this program, and I find them to be pretty fair. Like I like them, and I like Jimmy Dore, and I try to watch left-wing news sources, you know, equally as much as I do and sometimes they're even better than the right-wing sources these days. I mean, it seems like, my God, some of these right-wingers are on my nerves so bad that it's like I seek out these more fair-minded liberals, which I find them to be. You know, Brianna is definitely a progressive, and the other guy is a libertarian, the guy who's normally on this program. But they had this woman here on the right, who you can see, Inez Stateman, I think her last name is Stateman. They had her on the program, and this is my first time seeing her, and she just was very amazing, very good, and I enjoyed what she had to say about the Tennessee House Democrats that were expelled. And I want to know, have you guys heard about this? This is like making like huge news. I could give a fuck less about what's going on in the Tennessee House of Representatives. I mean, I just don't care. So I haven't obviously mentioned it, but you know, it's been such a stupid story, and it's like whatever. I have thoughts on it, but I thought that this exchange between these two ladies was very refreshing, because normally Brianna doesn't get much pushback from Robbie. He's kind of like bends and like, you know, kind of, soy boys out for her. You know, he does give a little tiny, like the smallest bit of pushback, but nothing compared to what this white woman did. And I thought it was great. And this is more of what we need. So I wanted to play this for you guys in regards to the thoughts that both of these ladies had on the two Democrats that were expelled in Tennessee, and how this woman so brilliantly and succinctly spoke to actual, you know, common sense, and really just gave everyone, I think, a little something to think about. And I hope Brianna had to think about what it was she had to say, because it seemed like she was very annoyed, and that's another thing that made it very interesting as well. So let's watch it, guys.
Went out and stood with the students as part of the protest. We're using the megaphone, we're using their voice in the legislative hall. And for this, apparently, they were expelled, which is a relatively unprecedented action. I think the last time this happened was over 100.
Excuse-moi.
Over 100 years ago, and it was over a legislator having taken a bribe or something that was much more obviously illegal or wrong, as opposed to these subjective questions here about whether or not their behavior in standing with students and standing with protesters in this legislative space was inappropriate. So what do you make of this?
So first of all, I think we need to have one standard, whatever it is. We need to have one standard for whether this kind of behavior is an insurrection or democracy, because these protesters grappled with cops.
Right off the bat, bitch. Yes, girl. Okay. As soon as she said this, I was like, I was just like shocked, because I was like, don't tell me we're gonna have a common sense point of view. We're going to have someone pointing out the hypocrisies right here in front of all of our faces. I mean, it's just insane, because you might see this like pointed out, obviously, like a right-wing podcaster, like who just has their own show, like they're talking to themselves and their audience. They'll point it out all day. But when do you ever see this from a leftist who is giving their perspective on a certain situation, and then you have someone like this woman, which I don't know her politics. I tried to find it out. She's not very well known. I'm definitely following her now, but I couldn't really find a definitive answer on what it is that her politics are. She seems like she might be more maybe conservative or right-leaning, but overall, she just seems like a no-nonsense, common-sense type of woman. And when she said, I was really shocked when she said this, because you just do not hear this. And this type of dialogue where you have two people who, ideologically completely disagree, but yet you have a progressive and a very it's it's well known that Brianna Joy Gray is a progressive, which is fine. She's actually more of a she's leftist, and normally I do not like leftists, but there are common sense leftists like her who I feel like she most of the time, or a lot of the time, she gets it right, or she gets it close to right, or even if she doesn't get it right, I feel like she still has a common sense take on what it is she's saying. And whenever I do disagree with her, I think she's just out of touch, then whatever, she doesn't come across as crazy or violent or like some of these people. But this was like a breath of fresh air, so let's keep it going.
They forced their way onto a legislative floor, and then these three legislators stood with those protesters. Now, two of them, the two who were expelled, were on the bullhorn and yelling on the legislative floor. And these distinctions apparently mattered because there were three different votes, as you said in the lead-up, Bree, that Jones was expelled by 72 votes, Pearson by 69. The threshold here is 66. It's 2/3, right, of the legislature. And then a third legislator, Gloria Johnson, the vote failed 65 to 30. So she kept her seat and not expelled by just one vote. But I think we need one standard for this behavior. Now, admittedly, it's not as violent, but there were physical altercations. There's video of physical altercations between cops trying to keep people off the property of the legislature and the floor, and people pushing through. So whatever we want to call this kind of behavior, I think we need one standard.
So I do think the word insurrection is used because protesters were going to the Capitol with the purpose, this is the argument, of preventing Joe Biden from being certified as the President of the United States of America.
But these protesters were going to the floor to prevent.
So she knew basically what it was that Inez was trying to say. Brianna knew immediately. She never even mentioned January 6th by name, but she was able to make that connection by just what it was that she was pointing out, and the hypocrisy that she was trying to state, where Democrats were so up in arms, completely flabbergasted over January 6th, but something like this, where as she perfectly sums up and describes so very well, that, there was violence, there was pushing against the police, forcing their way onto the Capitol of Tennessee, making their way onto the actual floor of the House of Representatives, stopping a democratic procedure, and, halting the legislative process there. It is the exact same. And then Brianna comes back, well, they were trying to stop Joe Biden from getting elected. Bitch, what are you... One legislative process was halted for a few hours, which was the certification of the election, y'all know. And then the other was at the House of Representatives in Tennessee voting on a bill. Why is one better or more serious or more egregious than the other? It's absolutely glaringly hypocritical of you to try to say that, this one's different because no ma'am, this lady's about to read you your rights.
And normal course of legislative actions, just which because it was the same way on January 6th, right? This vote to certify the election, that was to me, this is very similar, albeit of less perhaps consequence in terms of what actual legislation is pending and what vote is pending, but it's the same procedurally.
Yeah, but you brought up the word insurrection, and I think that goes specifically to the idea of trying to usurp the democratically elected leader of a country, which was not what was at stake here. So if you are saying broadly speaking, we need to have one standard for protest, I think there are a lot of different factors that could differentiate some of the pushing that happened allegedly, I haven't seen the particular instances that you're talking to, but I grant you that the pushing that happened in Nashville versus the level of violence that I think we've all witnessed happened at the Capitol, the level of property destruction, the breaking down the windows and forcing your way in. A woman was obviously shot at the Capitol. There were people who had various implements
by the Capitol Police
brought with the intent to use them, as weapons and the like. And I don't mean to make a referendum on that. I frankly think a lot of folks would support even what happened at the Capitol if they thought it was a sufficiently legitimate underlying cause. I think what is the question here is whether or not the
No, ma'am. You don't have to agree with the reason behind the protest. Because guess what, ma'am, Brianna, which I normally like you, and I still do, a lot of people didn't agree with the protests that went on in the Tennessee Capitol. Okay? So don't try to do that. Please, just don't try to do that, okay? Just don't do that. Because no, in this country, you have the right to protest. It's not, you have the right to protest, but only if we agree behind the premise in which that you are protesting. No. It's not how this works. Plenty of people didn't agree, or condone the protesting that went on in Tennessee. And there was plenty of people that didn't, condone what was happening on January 6th at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. It doesn't make one more illegitimate or legitimate than the other. Don't do that. Please just don't do that, ma'am.
These two legislators, who, as far as I understand, haven't been accused of any of that behavior, and who were, unlike I think what at the Capitol, I think this is a public space where people were allowed to come. Whether or not two legislators who stood with protesters about this gun legislation that had impacted their communities, including this one legislator, Gloria, who was not expelled, actually lost a student themselves, whether or not the consequence of them standing with these student protesters should be that they're expelled from their positions as legislators. I mean, what do you make of that? Even if you disagree with their behavior, even if you think that they should be censored in some way, should this kind of ultimate punishment be doled out against your political enemies because you disagree with their behavior in this instance? Does their behavior arise to that?
Absolutely, because weren't there calls from the likes of AOC and other shrill Democrats who were calling for people like Representative Paul Gosar and Josh Hawley and others, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, to be removed from their U.S. congressional seats just simply by expressing support? They didn't even join the protesters like these two legislators did. Or
separately, one, if that's your view, then they should have proposed legislation and not shut down the operation of the chamber.
Yes.
Because that's what is issue here. But that would be the political way
there was
to resolve that question. But second,
well, they didn't shut down the operation of the chamber. My understanding is there was a delay because they came out to join these protesters. But go ahead. They did not want
the regular order of business by force. I mean, that's what happened. And so in any case, the second piece, I think that would be the political venue to resolve that, would be in that legislative chamber through the normal order of business to propose, for example, a red flag law, right? And so the second thing on the red flag laws themselves, again, I think this is one of those things where ordinary Americans would actually be able to solve this problem. There are polls that show that majorities of Americans support this idea. Obviously, I think nobody wants somebody who has a avowed mental health history and who is very likely to pop off and do something. It seems like with every one of these shooters, by the way, there's 50,000 red flags, often ignored by multiple agents, law enforcement agencies, and so on. So I think that's something that actually we could come to an agreement on, but for the underlying divisions between left and right in this country, because fundamentally, Republicans, and I'm with them on this issue, people who support gun rights in the Second Amendment do not trust that those red flag laws will be applied without regard, for example, to politics. And then there's a question of if you went, to get anti-anxiety prescription one time to a therapist, does it count as a mental health issue? These actual sort of hashing out of this, I think people who support the Second Amendment look at this and say, no, this is just a prelude to a larger gun ban. This is going.
Yes, girl. So y'all go follow this woman, Inez Stepman, okay? There is her information right there on the screen. I'm going to stop her right there. I will post this link in the description. I would very highly, please go check out my next video, which is going to be Society and Decay. We're going to get into our underlying issues, guys, because listen, I have some things to say, guys. I really, really do. And, I would love to know your thoughts on these two videos. Let me know in the comments. We'll be reviewing more FBI, masterpieces of utter, just complete movie gold, okay? What did y'all think? Let me know. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Twitter, guys. Do that now, please. I still only have 2 subscribers. If everyone who watches this video goes and follows me on Twitter, you know, we would all be in a better world. We'd be living in a better world, okay? So I look forward to it, guys. Until next time, you know, y'all stay safe out there. Always remember what the FBI told you with your own taxpayer dollars. And I will see y'all later. Bye.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.